Good morning. This is Martha Boneta, your guest host on the John Fredericks Show here in the greatest nation on earth, the United States of America. Friends, the Democrat Party is in complete and total meltdown mode. We're going to hear a clip right now from the one and only Nancy Pelosi. I don't know where she gets this stuff, but here you go. Listen to Pelosi.
In their decency, care about the children at the border. It's about values that the president does not seem to share, and we saw this morning when he announced his heartless raids on families this coming Sunday. When he announced this before, I called, God bless you, some people of faith about this, evangelicals who support the president for other reasons, but who have been good on immigration issues, but usually. And basically, they were very concerned that this goes too far because these raids were not what they signed up for with President Trump. And I think their calls to the president made a difference. Basically, what they said to me is, on Sunday, this is the Hispanic evangelicals, on Sunday, west of the Mississippi, our people are in church. And as they prepare to go to church, they feel very threatened and scared by these raids. So hopefully the president will think again about it, or these groups will weigh in once again. Families belong together. Every person in America has rights. These families are hardworking members of our communities and our country. This brutal action will terrorize children and tear families apart. The events that I've been going to, recently in Queens and other places, but the Queens one was specifically geared to the census. And then the raids emerged as part of that discussion. I read them this card. An ICE deportation warrant is not the same as a search warrant. If that is the only document ICE brings to a home raid.
You just heard it for yourself. It's more absolute fake news from the lips of Pelosi. And here's why, friends. Here's why. First of all, Pelosi is largely responsible for the repeated problems that we have at our border and the fact that we are in crisis at our border. You know, President Trump has delayed the planned raids. He has delayed the planned raids last month in order to give lawmakers additional time to pass legislation that would tighten the asylum laws. And so we are in the position that we're in because of Nancy Pelosi. You know, we're in a situation now where, you know, we have to ask ourselves, how much longer are we going to wait? We're in a state of crisis. Are we supposed to ask undocumented illegal immigrants for permission to have them come in and meet with ICE? It's outrageous that Pelosi is advising Democrats on how to break the law and intervene when ICE is just doing their job. Their job is to protect our nation from illegal, undocumented immigrants. These raids were supposed to happen last month, but the president delayed them. They were supposed to take place in 10 major cities nationwide. It's estimated that they will impact up to 2,000 illegal immigrants. So let's talk about this. We live in the greatest nation on earth. We are a rule of law country, and that means following the rule of law. Let me say that again. We are a rule of law country, and that means following the rule of law. In terms of when these raids will take place, we really don't know exactly what the time frame is, but these raids have been in talks for some time. They should have been done a long time ago, and the president delayed them in order to allow Congress to create an appropriate congressional action plan. But because Pelosi has repeatedly failed to do what is right in this situation, we have to do these raids. And delaying them over and over again does not help the American people, and it doesn't help these illegal, undocumented immigrants either. Friends, time and time again, we are seeing how the fake news media distorts reality. And thank goodness, we have so many citizen journalists from all over our country, 150 of whom were at the White House yesterday for an unprecedented, first time ever presidential social media summit in the White House. Those 150 American patriots represent and have over 500 million followers around the world. 500 million with a B. That's more than any major network broadcast in the world. Think about how powerful that is. Now, would the president have been elected without social media? Absolutely. Absolutely. He represents the American dream. And in fact, promises made, promises delivered. He has delivered more in his tenure as president than any other sitting president has in terms of promises made and promises delivered. We're seeing that in the economy. We're seeing that in unemployment, the stock market, national security. And friends, the United States of America is now the largest producer of oil in the world. And here we are. We have a president who's making America first. He's making our veterans first. He's making our farmers first. He's making the American people first. And we're seeing this time and time again. And yet, the front page of the New York Post after the debate, I was in New York, and I woke up the next morning and the hotel had this paper at my door. The front page says it all. Every single Democrat candidate's hand was raised. The reason why their hand was raised, because they said they wanted to provide free health care to illegal, undocumented immigrants. And the front page of the New York Post said, "Who wants to lose an election?" ? With an image of their hands raised. That historic photo could not be more true. We have a Democrat Party who puts illegal, undocumented immigrants before our American people, before our veterans, before our hardworking middle class, before every single American citizen. We must not let that happen. We must not let the American people not be put first. You know, I had the privilege and the honor of being at the Lincoln Memorial for the President's Salute to America. And it was an incredible experience to see thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Americans from all over our country, from every walk of life, fly into the nation's capital with pouring down rain to stand, to have the opportunity to be a part of this historic moment. Our president demonstrated to the American people how much he loves our great nation, how much respect he has for the American military. And most of all, he demonstrated for the entire world to see that we are the greatest nation on earth, and that we will continue to be the greatest nation on earth, that we will never be a socialist America, and that we will continue to fight for the American people so that we may be free. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't thank God for the privilege of being born in our great nation, for the freedoms that we have. But we must be vigilant. We must continue to fight for the American dream. And each and every American has the power to do that. Each and every American, through the power of one person can make a difference. One person can start a movement to create more opportunity, to obliterate egregious, tyrannical laws that are in every county, that are still in every county, every state, all across our great nation. We, the people, have the power to do that. One person can make a difference. An army of individuals fighting for the American dream. Just like my mom and dad told my big sisters and me growing up in Mount Vernon, Virginia, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter the color of your skin, no matter where you where you are at this moment in time, no matter what your circumstances are, if we work really hard, we can be anything we want in life. How blessed are we to be alive for such a time as this? And how blessed are we to witness a president who's making the American people first, who's making America first. Friends, I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to be your guest host this morning. I love America with every breath I take. I love you all. God bless America. God bless our great nation. Good morning. This is Martha Boneta, your guest host on the John Fredericks Show in the greatest nation on earth. Friends, we're going to hear a clip right now, and we're going to hear Representative Tlaib on the border crisis, and you're going to hear more outrageous fabrications from the left on what's happening at our border.
Thank you for being here. I saw the moment that you didn't realize we put your daughter's face. I saw the moment you saw your daughter's picture and you broke down. It's hard to be up here to tell this story, but it's also really hard to be up here as a mother and as an American to know that, and I don't say custody, Chairman, I say in our care. These are people and human beings that are in our care. We can talk about new proposals and legislation, but current law allows them to go through a legal process for asylum. Many of them that I spoke to were here on our soil asking for asylum. Many had family members already here that they could connect to while they wait for them to go through the legal process. We don't need new laws. We need morality. We need an administration that understands there are human rights violations happening. This is about an ideology that this administration has adopted, an ideology that others are less than, an ideology that a mother who came across for freedom, for a better quality of life for her daughter, doesn't deserve it, doesn't deserve that chance.
Friends, we live in the greatest nation on earth. There's a reason why people from all over the world flock to come to our great nation. And we are a nation based on the rule of law. We have laws, and they must be adhered to. We live by the rule of law. And that means adhering to the rule of law. We must protect our borders. We must have a legal process by which to become an American citizen. Time and time again, the media refuses to acknowledge that in fact, legal immigration is what we embrace. I love immigrants in our nation. Our country was built on immigration. But we must have immigrants come to our country through a legal process. And that requires adhering to our laws. We have a crisis at our border. We must address these issues. And of course, we cherish and value families and do not want them to be separated. And it's heartbreaking when that happens. But again, we have a crisis at our borders. We must protect our great nation. A country without borders is not a country at all. Friends, this is Martha Boneta. It's been a privilege and an honor to be your guest host on the John Fredericks Show. We live in the greatest nation on earth, and I am so blessed and thankful to be an American for such a time as this. We have a President Donald J. Trump who has done more to deliver on the promises he has made in his tenure as president than any other president has in the history of our nation. Every morning, it's like Christmas when I see how this president is creating more opportunity and prosperity for every American in our nation. For every new regulation that's created, tyrannical regulations are being obliterated on an average of 21-1. Every single day we see a booming economy, unemployment at an all-time low. America is open for business. And in fact, we are now the greatest producer of oil in the world. This president has made America first. He's made our veterans first. He's made our farmers first. He's made our hard-working middle class first and our great Americans first, from sea to shining sea. I love America with all my heart. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America. This is Martha Boneta, your guest host this morning on The John Fredericks Show.